जगाय प्रसृतान् शेषान् औत्सुक्य मोहारतिजान् जगान यो पूर्ववैद्याय नमोऽस्तु तस्मै यो पूर्ववैद्याय नमोऽस्तु तस्मै यो पूर्ववैद्याय नमोऽस्तु तस्मै. Good morning, friends. I welcome you all on this very special occasion of our 31st, 5th anniversary of Nadi GURUKUL and 80th Independence Day. Dear friends, we are celebrating our 80th Independence Day and 35th anniversary with almost free revision and very solvent session. We are doing 4 lectures today. The first one will be in English. We will go to Hindi lecture at 11 a.m. Marathi lecture at 12 noon and Gujarati lecture at 1 p.m. I am sure that all of you will pick up this opportunity to brush up your skills of Nadi Pariksha and get your queries sorted out. This is not common for Nadi GURUKUL to be online in a query solving session. We do it 2 or 3 times a year, not more than that. It has to be done quite often. Unfortunately, because of the constraint, we cannot do it quite often. I wanted to do it free of cost, but the apps do not allow free. That's why the price of ₹1 has been kept. It is almost technically, yes, there is a price tag. So before we go on further, I would like to share with you our new creation, Nadi Chalisa. So listen to it very properly.
जय जय नाड़ी जानकी जय शिव शंकर धाम करुणा करके खोलिए नाड़ी वेद का जान ऋषियों की साधना आचार्यों का मान आज युग में नव चेतना करे नाड़ी कल्याण आदि अनादि महेश्वर देवा नाड़ी जनान के मूल गुरुदेवा शिव के घर से जान प्रकाशा जीव शरीर का खोला पाशा शिव ने शक्ति सहित
So I hope you have enjoyed this Nadi Chalisa. Before we go further, I just take a call and how did you find Sairam? If you raise your hand, I can enable your mic and you can speak. I'm sure you must have enjoyed this Nadi Chalisa. This knowledge of Nadi Vigyan, which has came down to all of us from Lord Shiva. Then Brahma gave it to us, gave it to us, Bhaja, Anjaneya. And in that Vansha Parampara, we got this. Today, at after the first quarter of 21st century, we have been blessed by the advent of artificial intelligence. So, with the help of AI and machine learning algorithms, we can easily overcome the dilemma of Sejam Alpamedhasam or Nana Tantra Vihinana, as been classically mentioned by Madhav Kara. We have been equipped almost by all the tantras, making them handy and using them for day-to-day practice. So with this advent, Nana Tantra Vinanam is not that evident and existent. And for those Vishak with Alpa Vedasam are supported by the Bahya Vedas, artificial intelligence. If you use it judiciously, you can do wonders. I'm sure all of you have listened to our Honorable Prime Minister today when he was addressing the country on 80th Independence Day celebration from Lal Killa. That India, with its greatest power, the younger generations, is investing tremendously and expecting every citizen of India to use the resources, use the knowledge base, and provide that to the entire universe. The same is true for Nadi Pariksha. It is a time for all of us to wake up, get ourselves geared up, and take this particular knowledge of Nadi Pariksha, especially the Sahaj Nadi Pariksha, which I preach, to the world. Reason is very simple. It is the simplest form of Nadi Pariksha. It's a reproducible form of Nadi Pariksha. It can easily be used by AI-based machines and machine learning algorithms. And can provide you ultimate set of diagnosis in the form of Sahaj Nadi Veda intelligent system. Today, we are going to make two parts of this lecture. The first part will be brushing up your understanding of Sahaj Nadi Pariksha in a super fast way, and secondly, to provide you an insight about what Sahaj Nadi Veda intelligence system or SNVIS is. This is the first part. And second part would be we will try to sort out all your questions. There are two methods of asking questions. One is you can type it in the chat, so the question will be visible to me and I will answer. Second, which will be interactive, where you have to raise your hand. So I will enable your mic, and with that you will be able to ask the question directly. So I will answer. Is that okay? Can you see the chat? It is always better that be interactive. So that gives me a feeling that I am not talking to those people who are not attending, who are just there present. You should be interactive. Okay? Sahaj Nadi Pariksha is, by the name suggests, it's an easy Nadi Pariksha. Done with 3 fingers on one hand. Not necessarily right or left. You can do it on either. I suggest that you should do it on both the hands. And then, very simply, try to identify the location of your index finger. Keep it in 90 degrees to the arm, then middle finger and then ring finger. Once you reach to the location, you get the information about the immediate expression where you identify whether the pulse is pricking or soft, regular or irregular, full or empty, warm or not warm, and the intensity under index, middle and ring finger separate. This is level 1. In Namaskar, I am in the class right now. Who is this? You have to go to the Nadi GURUKUL app. You have paid it, no? So you got the code. Without code, you can't code. It is DOSIP, DOSIP. I have shared with the code to everybody. Those who have joined, without the code, they cannot join. The code was there. Code was there in the link. You could have checked. Okay? Please. This is the problem with newer generation. They don't read. They want ready-made answers. So there is nothing ready-made available. So now, when you have done with the measuring the level 1, slowly release the pressure and go to the superficial level. There you identify the gatis under index finger, middle finger, ring finger, along with the intensity in each finger. Then you press it hard, go to the deepest level, and you identify intensity under index, middle, and ring finger. When you do it 5-7 times, superficial and deep, and register the diameter of the Nadi in your mind, and then push index finger to 1/3 level, identify 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then push middle finger and identify 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then push ring finger and identify 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at 1/3 level. Then do it once again. Superficial, deep, superficial, deep, superficial, deep. Register the distance. And then push your fingers to 2/3 level, all the 3 fingers together. And then identify under which finger you are getting the pulsation. Nadi, Sahaj Nadi Pariksha is that easy. You have to go to all the 5 levels in one book. That's very essential. If you start taking away your fingers, then probably you won't be able to do it. So make sure that whensoever you are examining the Nadi, you have to be always be very comfortable, relaxed, and examine the Nadi. Of course, there are certain do's and don'ts, like don't see the Nadi immediately after food, immediately after sex, immediately after exercise, or while the patient is sleeping. Normally, Nadi is examined in the morning hours, but it is not compulsory. You can examine any time of the day, considering you can adjust your understanding of Nadi with the circadian cycle. And that is how the Sahaj Nadi Pariksha gives you information. In immediate expression, it provides you information about the overall, the gross happening in the body. Like whether it is pathological or physiological, whether it is cardiovascular involvement is there or not, whether the condition is chronic or acute, whether there is any presence of ama or not, or which part of body is involved and with the intensity thereof, like whether it is in the upper part, middle part or lower part. And of course the intensity of the activity. This is gathered in the immediate expression, the level 1. And then when we reach to the depth 2, the second depth of the level 2, that is called superficial expression, there we understand the dosha activity. And then dosha activities can be well, so it can tell you about the dosha sthana and the dosha karya. Must recall this figure. This indicates sarpagati, this indicates mandukha gati, and this indicates ansagati. Sarpagati is equivalent to vata karya, mandukha gati is equivalent to pitta karya, and hansagati is equivalent to kapha karya. So we understand in which sthana, vata sthana, pitta sthana or kapha sthana, vata sthana, pitta sthana, kapha sthana, which karya is happening and the intensity thereof. It is the second level. Level 3 or the depth 3, where we see the Nadi at the most deepest level, we identify the prakriti of the person whom we are examining. There, prakritistha vata, pitta and kapha with their intensity can be measured under each finger. When we go to the depth 4, we understand the subdosha or the organ involvement. Subdosha or the organ involvement. And then each finger is divided into 4 parts. Index finger has prana, udana, samana and apana. If it is more than one part, then it is vyana. Middle finger is divided into 4 parts, pachak, ranjak, sadhak and alochak. If it is more than one part, it is bhrajaka. And the ring finger is divided in 4 parts. The first one is kledaka, second is avlambaka, third is bodhaka, fourth is Tarpaka, and if it is more than one part, it is Shlesha. So we understand the organ involved or the subdosha involved. For me, subdosha is the organ specificity, which we have learned in our class in details. So this is I am trying to give you a fast recap if you tend to forget, and reminding you that when you are doing Nadi Pariksha, you have to do in one go. You cannot take away your fingers every time after registering something in the mind. Later, what you are supposed to do is, when you are in the level 5, it is at the 2/3 level, you get the information of the tissue involved, the dhatu involvement. And that is, only ring finger is rasa dhatu, only middle finger is rasa dhatu, only index finger is astu dhatu, index and middle together is mausa dhatu, middle and ring together is meda dhatu, all three together is majja dhatu, and index and ring, not on the middle, is shukra dhatu. So this is what the information we get in Sahaja Nadi Pariksha. This information comes to us in 5 distinct blocks. One block for each depth or each level. And then it becomes a jigsaw puzzle. You have to fit these blocks together to make a complete diagnosis. Remember, in Sahaja Nadi Pariksha, there are no Nadi of a disease, Nadi of a condition. There are Nadi at 5 different depths. You get 5 different knowledge sets, and those 5 different knowledge sets needed to be brought together to form the complete diagnosis. Never ever search for a disease. Never ever do the reverse Nadi Pariksha. I have been reiterating this in all my classes. So you have been exposed to this many a times. This is not something new I am talking to you. But my dear friends, it needs reminders. Many times we tend to forget. We develop an habit of keeping 3 fingers together. Don't do that. Always start with index finger alone. Unless you place your index finger properly, don't push your second and third finger next to them. This simple act of placement of fingers should be sufficient enough to provide you the right diagnostic phenomena from Nadi. Any question about Sahaja Nadi Pariksha if you have? Otherwise, I will start talking about SNBIS. I just wanted to share with you all this new interpretative technique, which is based on AI and helps us not only to make an accurate Ayurveda diagnosis, but also help you to plan its therapeutic regimen to its best. So no questions for Sahaj Nadi Pariksha. If you have any questions, please do ask. Of course, we can keep the question answer at the end. That won't be a problem. As we have seen, Sahaj Nadi Pariksha is done at 5 depths and collects information from those 5 depths about different aspects of physiology and pathology. So all those aspects needed to be brought together. Of course, it is an easy, reproducible diagnostic system which can be taught easily, and then those who have learned can teach also. We are fortunate enough to have Nadi Guru Sai Ram with us today. He has learned this science and art of Nadi Pariksha from many Nadi Vaidyas. Many Nadi Vaidyas. A very good student of Nadi Pariksha and equally good teacher of Nadi Pariksha too. I remember whenever Sai Ramji was in the class, questions were always asked because he always had a query. Query will always be there if you question yourself, if you question the knowledge what you are getting, if you accept it as it is, then there won't be any question. But my dear friends, never accept knowledge as it is. It won't be useful to you unless you question it, because questioning refines it, makes it sharper enough to penetrate in your mind and get hold in your brain that you can use it all your life. So when we decided to create Sahaj Nadi Yantra or Sanai using PPG technology, a very major problem occurred, and that haunted for all of my students, because I was teaching Nadi Pariksha at 5 levels, tracing Nadi at different depths and collecting information from those depths. But when I launched Sahaj Nadi Yantra 4 years ago, it was with photoplethysmography technology. And with that PPG technology, we were not able to go to 5 levels. We were able to go to only 1 level. And that too, checking the morphology of the arterial expansion through multiple photographs we were taking using the camera and the laser light source. 16 photographs a second for 30 seconds, so making it 480 photographs. That was helping us to identifying the morphological characteristics occurring in each beat of pulsation. We all are aware that one pulse cycle lasts for 0.8 seconds, considering 72 beats per minute. And that 0.8 second cycle repeatedly for 30 seconds and then taking 16 photographs per second for 30 seconds. PPG was able to create a graphical representation of the pulse of the rise, the top, and the fall along with the dichrotic notch. The rise is because of the systole The fall is because of the diastole. Very simple. When the aortic wall closes, it was indicated in the graph as a diacrotic notch. A small depth and then followed by an elevation, simple elevation. That is called diacrotic notch. So that was giving us in the graph very beautiful. And then I started thinking, how can we analyze these graphs to provide an accurate Ayurveda diagnosis? Meanwhile, with the help of the PPG technology, we were able to crack the prakriti of the person and the present status of the dosha, along with the gati of the Nadi at that point of time, in that 30 seconds. We had been awarded patents for all those things. So we were aware how much the deviation has occurred from the constitutional level of the dosha in that person. And that awareness took us to one more thought beyond that, to identify the variation occurring in the Sharira Guna of which the PPG graph has been created. And then I developed more precisely, an algorithm to identify the variation in the pulse graph. Pulse graph is rise and fall. Very simple. Don't get confused. Rise of the pulse during systole and fall of the pulse during diastole. And identify the equations of all the 10 pairs of gunas. And these 10 pairs of guna, when they started occurring, we tried to connect it with our Ayurveda understanding of disease pathogenesis, the samprapti, and the latter, the therapeutics. And therapeutics in all the form of yoga, whether it is yogasanas, whether it is kriya, mudra, dhyan, asanas, and pranayam, along with panchakarma. That is all vihara. Then anna, what to eat, what not to eat, and then medicines. Initially, we tried for single herbs, and we were very much able to provide up to combination of 5 herbs in their therapeutic manner. This is SNVIS. So we use the same PPG graph obtained from Sanai and analyzed it using the Guna interpretation technique. If you recall, I have shared with you all, those who are interested, the books, the flip books of organ mapping Guna understanding, SNBIS, and global perspective of pulse diagnosis with you all. So now, with this refined understanding of SNBIS and Sahaj Nadi Pariksha, I am open for your queries because this particular session is predominantly meant to solve your queries. So we are doing it in 4 languages today. Right now we are talking to you in English. At 11 o'clock, I will join an Hindi class. Then it would be at 12 o'clock Marathi and 1 o'clock Gujarati. So those who are interested can join accordingly. Till then, if you have any queries, please put on your queries so I can answer. You can put your queries by 2 ways. You can type it in the chat or you can raise your hand so I can enable your mic. And when the mic is enabled, you can ask the question directly. So I am waiting for your queries. If you have any, please either type it in the chat or raise your hand. Or I'll understand other way around. That you know everything, you don't have any queries. Which is not true. You know and I know both. Sairam, you don't have any query today? Surprisingly. Namaskar, Surya ji. Unfortunately, I have never come across any such technique where any of the marmas is stimulated. So, there is no need to stimulate any marmas. And when you are stimulating the marmas, probably, as you all remember, marma are the places where Sira, Nadi, Kandara all come together, which can be a difficult thing if they are stimulated. So, for me and for Sahaj Nadi Pariksha, there is no need of stimulating any marma. Forget of Kurkura alone. Nadi Pariksha has to be done with very, because Acharya says it very clearly. Sukha asinam, Nadi Pariksham Samachara. So when you are talking about Sukha asinam, so there is no Pidanam of any sort is possible and allowed. It has further said, Dhrutva Vimunchati. So you have to press, leave, press, leave, press, leave. That is the only thing you need to do when you are doing Nadi Pariksha. Nothing else. I am not for stimulating any marma, including the Gurukul. I hope it it is you might be satisfied with this. Any other question? Sairam, you have not gone through those books. I am surprised. But then you have been practicing Nadi Pariksha for such a long time. You are a wonderful teacher too. And I am sure that you must also have explored the Nadi Pariksha in multiple methods and facets of Nadi Pariksha. I always tell all my students to explore the Nadi in the way they feel like. At Nadi Gurukul, we don't instruct and insist on a particular method of Nadi Pariksha. I teach one method, that is for sure, because I am good at that and I think it works. But it doesn't mean that other systems don't work. So there will be multiple systems. As long as I know almost 20-25 various systems of Nadi Pariksha practiced in India by different Vaidyas. And that is how we created a symposia named Nadi Mahakumbh, where 19 of renowned Nadi Vaidyas came together and displayed their methodology of Nadi Pariksha with all. We have video recording of it available, so those who are interested can contact me for that. Later we converted that knowledge into a book called Nadi Parampara, where there are multiple methods which are being practiced in India about Nadi Pariksha included. Surya, I think, I don't know. Probably you are finding this difficult because you are trying to access Nadi by all three fingers. Please practice in such a way that you are identifying the right pulsatory place with your index finger first. That is far easier and far better even in those patients where the pulses are very feeble. Only with index finger. And once you are able to locate the pulsation comfortably with index finger, then put your middle finger next to it and then ring finger next to it. So this makes Nadi Pariksha more accurate and more better. Searching with three fingers is intervening the Nadi with a larger base and can lead to disturbances in Pariksha. This you can equate it with the Nadi Pariksha with Veena. When the player is playing the Veena, he will not put multiple fingers on the string at the same time, because that will alter the sound variation. Same is true for Nadi Pariksha. As very classically said, Yasya Veena Gatam Tantri Sarva Ragan Prakashante Tatra Nadi Gatam Vaidya Sarva Rogan Prakashante. Nadi Dhyan is always equated to Veena Vadan. And you have to remember the nuances of the both. Don't try to push Nadi at very fast. It's a very gentle, subtle task to be done. If you do it subtly, I am sure you should be able to perform Nadi Pariksha better. Any more questions? Nice, nice. You should have patience. When you are practicing, there will be problems. And if there are problems, if you carry with your problems, your chances that you continue with the same problem all your life, unless you sort it out. Sort it out with your teacher. I won't call myself as an expert Nadi Vaidya, but I am a good teacher of Sahaj Nadi Pariksha. You can always get learning with us. Any more questions? Yes, Surya. Don't do it with 3 fingers. Always do it. Start with index finger alone, and use only the tip. Don't use this flat surface for Nadi Pariksha. Use only the tip of your fingers for Pariksha. That curvature makes it more precise, and you can do Nadi Pariksha in a better sense. Good enough. Nice to talk to you all on this 80th Independence Day and our 35th anniversary celebration. If you don't have any more queries, then I'll have to sign off and join the new batch for Hindi Nadi Pariksha queries and revision. So if you have any queries, please put it on, or otherwise. Menstrual cycle is a physiological condition of acting apana. So you definitely are going to get a variation in the nadi than you feel it otherwise. But remember, it's a physiological phenomena unless there is some pathology happening. So it's a better question. Practice and share with us your output or input on how the menstrual variation may occur. It's a rasa dhatu. Raja is upadhatu of rasa. It has been also understood that it is the Agni of Stri causing the menstrual flow. So there is always a possibility that Agni and Rasa involvement with Apana Vayu are seen, but in the physiological format. So there won't be any pathological phenomena seen in menstrual cycle, but if there is like dysmenorrhea or metrorrhagia, you can find it out. It can be. It can very well be detected, no problem. If there is a pathology, I have told you in every of my class that it is because of the dosha dusha samurchana. The Nadi becomes very stable during the pathological status, and you get even diagnostic phenomena during even menstrual period. Thank you all. Namaskar. See you sometime soon again. Till then, take good care of yourself.